Hi, I'm Dr. Jeniece and I am a sociologist, and I'm going to be your professor this semester. So I thought I should give you a personal welcome to this course. So, just a bit of background about me. I am a sociologist. I'm an applied sociologist. So that means that my focus in sociology has been on research design and methodology, which I know doesn't sound super exciting, but it absolutely is and can be. And so I'm really excited to give you some like scandalous tales as we get into those examples of ethical, violations and naughty research moving forward. Because regardless of what class I'm teaching, they're always there. And before becoming a sociologist, I was just basically, a first generation college student, went into college expecting, to do a major that I knew would lead to a job, like nursing. And then realized, despite my best efforts, that sociology was my area and that it was calling me. The only problem was I had no idea what a sociologist did or could do. Um, and so, for the first time, as I was finishing college, my mentor said, "What about going to grad school?" And I said, "What is grad school?" And so, long story short, I actually went on to get my master's and my PhD at Baylor University just on a whim. I didn't know what else to do. And, being first gen and having a family that had no expectations, I was basically allowed to do anything I wanted without any input. Um, and so I have worked in education for about 18 years now, off and on, including some time working in private practice as a marketing researcher. Um, and I've worked in uh, academic research as well. I have a couple of publications. Um, but most importantly, in teaching and education. And so, um, I taught in Japan and lived in Japan for 3 years. I taught in the United Arab Emirates. I lived there for about 7 years. And so I'm a new transplant to California. Moved here in June of 2023 with my four kids and my husband, straight from the United Arab Emirates. And so I'm still new. I love any tips on places to visit and things that one must do while in California. Um, I'm excited. Um, so